all that man can do is impress the crowd, but he can't change the crowd. What I have done is come to the earth, sent my son, released my Holy Spirit, given you my new covenant, and you have all authority, co-heired with me, and I will help you transform cities, nations, and the globe.
How's it going, ISM family? Welcome to the ISM Show. My name is Zach Thayer. I am your online pastor and content creator for Illinois Student Ministries, where we help you lead yourself, lead others, give to missions, and live on mission. And Happy New Year. I am so excited for the year 2023 to see how God's going to move in my life and the lives of the students and leaders of the ISM family. In this episode, I wanted to share a clip from one of last year's events, Momentum 2022, a message from Pastor Chris Estrada. In this clip, he shares a story from his life about a conversation he had with God and his power. And the reason I wanted to share this clip with you, because I know in my faith journey, I've struggled with doubting in God's power. I've struggled with his ability to intervene in some situations that I'm worried about and praying for, or sometimes I even struggle with his ability to care. Like, God, I've been praying about this for so long. Don't you even care? Why aren't you doing something about it? So I know this story that Pastor Chris shared was encouraging to me, and I'm sure that it'll be encouraging to you guys. If it was, share this episode with a friend. And without any further ado, here's Pastor Chris Estrada.
I remember one time, I was actually living in Sri Lanka as a missionary. How many know where Sri Lanka is at? Okay, all 10 of you. That's great. So Sri Lanka is 40 miles south of India. And it was in the middle of a civil war, and it was heavy persecution. We had to take multiple ways home. We had to always watch our back. We had to be very careful about who we talked to. It was intense. But in the middle of all that chaos, we were seeing God just absolutely invade this nation. We were seeing daily salvation, signs, wonders, healings, miracles. It was powerful. And we had a day where we could take a day off, and my wife was like, hey, it's my turn to choose, and I want to choose what we do. I said, babe, I just want to be with you. What do you want to do? And she said, I want to go see some elephants at this specific elephant orphanage. Now, I know why she wants to go see this elephant orphanage, because this elephant orphanage has a 3-legged elephant. All right? In the middle of this civil war, you had an elephant that stepped on a landmine, and the landmine blew off its leg, and rescuers got to it in time to save its life, but not its leg. And so a lot of articles and videos and documentaries have been done on this elephant. And so this elephant is like kind of a mystery, a unicorn, if you will, and they want to capture everything. So everybody comes from around the world to see this elephant. So she's like, I want to go. So how many have ever been out of the country? Come on, anybody ever been out of the country? How many know there's 2 types of rates when you go out of the country? There's the foreigner rate, which is like $2,000, and then there's the local rate, which is like 50 cents, right? Of course, we don't look like we're locals, even though we live there. We look like we're foreigners, so they charge us like $5,000. But I'm not mad, because I want to spend some time with my wife, and this is what she wants to do, and I want to do whatever she wants to do. So I remember we go in there, and they say, hey, it's going to be like $10,000. I'm like, fine. If it's going to be $20,000, I'm going to get some cameras. Now, this was before we had cameras on our phones. How many remember disposable cameras? You ever heard of these? These are fun, right? How many know, like when you get a disposable camera, remember you take the picture, pop, and then you reload the next picture. Pop, pop, pop. You remember? How many know what I'm talking about? Right? And then if you want flash, heaven forbid that you want flash, you got to press the world's smallest button and wait for the light to turn on, and then you take the picture, and then you don't even know if you got a good picture. Like, you go get it developed, and you're like, what is that? Are those demons or people? What is that? Like, you couldn't tell. So I remember I was sitting there, and I have so many cameras on me, I look like a journalist. Like, I'm standing there in this moment, and I can see a big crowd, and I'm like, man, I just spent $50,000 to see an elephant. I'm going to get some pictures. So I start moving to the front of the crowd. I start wedging my way in between there. When you spend $100,000 on pictures and on elephants, you're going to get yours too. And so people start lining up, and here come the elephants, and I start popping pictures. Pop, zzz, pop, zzz, pop, zzz. I'm telling you, I'm getting at least $150,000 worth of pictures today. And so all of a sudden, I hear this guy behind me. He's like, hey, anybody want to see a magic trick? Anybody want to see a magic trick? I'm like, not right now, homie, because I spent $500,000 apparently to see some elephants. So I'm like popping pictures. People start leaving. I'm like, what are y'all doing? We spent $1 million to see elephants today. Not me, right? So they didn't even see the 3-legged elephant. Of course, the 3-legged elephant's the last elephant, and it comes walking like this. I'm grabbing pictures like, and all of a sudden he comes walking like this. I promise this, I'm not twerking. This is really how I was walking, all right? Just like this, right? And so then all of a sudden, I remember I'm taking pictures. I'm like one of the last people. And then this guy says, hey, anyone else want to see a magic trick? Well, by that time, I had wasted all my cameras. And I was like, you could tell I'm a kid at heart. I'm like, hey, I want to see a magic trick. So I walk over, and this guy's like, all right, give me a big circle. And he goes to this kid. He says, hey, pick a finger, any finger. And this kid goes, this one. And he picks a finger, and the guy's like, now watch this. And boom, blisters pop out all over his finger. I'm thinking, that ain't right. There's something wrong with you. And then he's like, now watch this. And pow, blisters pop out all over his hand. I'm thinking, you need to put some Windex on that. There's something wrong with you. You got problems, right? And so he grabs a doll, gives it to this woman. He says, do whatever you want to this doll, my body will respond. So she takes the doll and starts twisting the arm, and I watch this man's arm twist 3 times over without breaking. Then she took the doll and bent it backwards, and I watched the back of his head touch the back of his heels with no injury. Then he took out a long needle, like they sew rugs with, a huge needle like this, and he started to swallow the needle straight like this. Just like that. And he didn't angle it, nothing, just straight back. And then he lifted up his shirt, and the needle started to come out of his stomach, just like that. I mean, I'm such a skeptic, I wanted to go over there and just, shove it, and see if it comes out like that. This whole time, I can feel this dark, heavy, nasty presence. And I can hear thoughts coming into my head, intimidating thoughts. I'm talking about it'll steal all the courage out of you. I remember I'm sensing this, and all of a sudden, I'm watching the needle come out of the guy's stomach, and this thought hits me. Can you do that? Can the God you serve let you do that? Well, I was a young missionary. I had no idea. So I was like, well, let me pray about this. So I checked in with heaven. I was like, yo, sup? Listen, we got, can I do that? Like, is that legal? Is that a foul? Is that like a foul? Can I do that? And then I said this to the Lord. I said, Lord, because that's powerful. And you know what he did? He laughed at me. I'm not lying. I said, Lord, that's powerful. And he went, I'm like, stop playing. You play too much, sir. I'm being serious right now. We got to sit, like, that's powerful. I feel like, anybody else feel like God just checks out on your life for a laugh because your life could be one big meme? Come on, anybody? I know I'm not alone. Come on, Illinois, right? Like, I'm sure God's like, man, I need to get a good, what's Chris up to? This fool right here. Look at this guy right here. Lord, that's powerful. Hey, Michael, Gabriel, come over here. Look at this. Chris, say it again. Say, sir, we got this powerful. That's how I feel like my life is. And I said, I remember I said, Lord, that's powerful. And he said, that's not powerful. I said, he bent his arm. And he said, no, that's not powerful. I said, apparently you didn't see the needle thing. Did you see the needle thing? Apparently you see the needle thing. And he said, son, that's not powerful. I said, Lord, what are you talking about? He said, all that man can do is impress the crowd, but he can't change the crowd. What I have done is come to the earth, sent my son, released my Holy Spirit, given you my new covenant, and you have all authority, co-heired with me, and I will help you transform cities, nations, and the globe. Come on, anybody ready to line up for a fearless move of God that begins to sweep into every campus, into every family, and begins to rearrange the priorities of a city?
Wasn't that a cool story? I hope that it was encouraging to you as it was for me. If it was, share this episode with a friend, and to see all of our content, go through our YouTube channel, go through our podcast feed, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, all the things. That's all I have for you guys for now. We'll see you again soon.